Lightning and thunder when she have it now. She never make me wonder if she love me though. And if the river come down, baby, let it flow. I wanna be your only one, yeah. Lightning and thunder when she have it now. She never make me wonder if she love me though. And if the river come down, baby, let it flow. I wanna be your only one, yeah. Rainy morning love, I can't get enough, I can't get enough. It's that pull them curtains now and climb on top, baby, climb.
Welcome back to the Now Morning Show. So of course our collaboration continues with the Art Society of Trinidad and Tobago, and we have a brand new artist on set every week. This morning and for the week we have the work of James B. Solomon, and James definitely has a thinker technique we haven't had before on the show. Good morning, James, how are you?
Good morning.
How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm excited, a little nervous, but excited, yeah.
Well, we're excited to have you here. No need to be nervous because clearly your art speaks for itself. Now, I had a chance to just take a look at your bio and I find your journey quite fascinating. So let's go back to the beginning and what brought you to where you are today?
Okay, photography started as a hobby.
Right.
I had some minor success as an amateur. There was a lot of encouragement from my co-workers with regards to my work. And then 32 years ago, this month, I left my employers at Eastern Credit Union, and actually I walked out on the Friday and returned on Monday as their official photographer. And I continued to work for them as their official photographer for 5 years, after which I found myself working on cruise ships for 13 years.
What was that transition like, going from working to now being a full-time photographer in a different capacity?
It was a little scary at first because one wasn't prepared to become a struggling artist, but I did quite well for myself. They had actually asked me to stay one extra month, and then at the end of that month, they asked me to stay another month, and I said, no, okay, guys, I really got to go if I am to do this. Otherwise, I would probably keep extending. Well, there's that transition, and things just took off. I got a lot of support from my father, actually.
Excellent.
He observed me struggling for the first year, and then he stepped in and he said, okay, well, let's see what we can do about helping you get a car. So he co-signed a loan with me, and it was a touching moment when we sat and I didn't think I'd be talking about this, when we sat in front of the loan officer, and the loan officer asked, is your father still supporting you? And I was a bit, caught off guard by that. And he just turned to me and he said, Jimmy, as long as I'm alive, I will always support you.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And definitely we see that love now resonating in your art as well. And as you mentioned that, you also mentor people. Would you say that your love for mentoring came from having such a solid support system?
Solid support, yes, from my father. My father worked, he was a social worker, well-known social worker with the Society of St. Vincent de Paul, so he was always about elevating others. My mentor in photography, Monty Zucker, that man was such a generous and selfless photo educator, and he took me under his wing. Now, in Trinidad back in the day, I think there were 3 or 4 photographers who had attended seminars. I baked macaroni pie in his kitchen.
Oh, nice.
He came to work on the ships.
Right.
And I told him, when it came to learning, I have no ego. And he thought, well, yeah, sure, everybody tells him that. And I went and knocked on his door. And I showed up with my bags, and I was ready to work with him and learn from him. And the time I spent with him was like sipping from a fire hose. He just shared. And I adopted that with those whom I mentor. I try to share selflessly. I have been burnt in a couple of instances, but all in all, everyone whom I work with, they appreciate what I do with and for them.
Oh, we have appreciation for your work here this morning, and one of the things that's so intriguing is that light plays a factor. So what is light painting?
Oh, well, It's a challenging question when it comes to
Okay.
photography. You talk about good light. All light is good if you know how to use it in its context.
Okay.
To bring an image to life. And I know we will have a chat about some of these
We will.
paintings, but the different qualities of light will give different emotional connection to an image and the creation of an image. Using it wisely is one of the key challenges that we always have. And having worked in film 32 years ago, you had to know what you were doing. You had to understand how light worked with a subject, whether it was it is a still life, whether it is a scene, or whether it was a person's portrait you were creating. So that's the, well, one way of describing it.
Well, it's quite fascinating because 9 out of 10 times for those of us who are just more of a, we take out our phone and snap, or
Yes.
what we would have called a point and shoot, a digital camera, we don't necessarily think about
Yes.
the role that light plays. So really excited for you to display that with us. And
Well, one thing one of my other teachers shared, especially in the digital age, no matter how all the technology that we've been exposed to, the mechanics of light and shadow will never change.
Definitely. And you know what, as you say that and you mentioned light and shadow, let's start with the first painting that we have, which is our Waterfront.
Yes.
And what is the name of this and how did you work this out?
Waterfront Dusk. I saw, I was leaving an assignment around the savannah, and I saw how the sky, the colors of the sky was changing. So I raced over to the waterfront and set up my tripod. And this photograph is a multi-layer panorama. There are 27 images that I created, all long exposures, which I later stitched together. This photograph also found me, when I posted it online on Facebook, the president of NALIS, Mr. Neil Parson Lal, he spotted it. And he says, James, this is the best I've ever seen. NALIS is open to you if you're ready to have an exhibition. And the following year, a few months later, this was August, March last year, I had my first solo exhibition, which was 3 of 30, My Evolving Journey.
Exquisite.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
And we also have to say congratulations for this next piece that's going to come up on screen, which is the winner of the professional category EU Photo Contest 2021.
Yes.
Can you give us a background into this?
Okay. The theme for this photo contest was Build Back Better, Stronger Together, and we were asked to use any one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals.
Okay.
So I did some research and I looked at what the development goals were and how the logo that they had and how it symbolized. And I thought, why not use all 17? Now, my first initial thought was I'd try to weave a blanket using the different colors, and wrap it around a globe, but that didn't work. And then drawing on some work I did, about 28 years ago, when First Citizen Bank was being formed, I had to photograph a rope.
Okay.
The three strands of a rope representing Penny Bank, Workers Bank, and NCB to come together to form First Citizens Bank. And I did all 17. And this actually is...
So I was noticing this. I was going to ask you whether or not this is actually from
Yes,
the photo
actually
itself.
from that.
Beautiful work. So let's go to this next piece. I'm going to jump the gun and say this is Home from the Market. Is that
Home
correct?
from the Market, yes.
And this is also a lighting piece.
That's a light painting. All right. So light painting is a marriage of art and photography on a digital platform. I use multiple constant lights. In fact, this is one of them. Those of us who do light painting,
Right.
we'd call this a lightsaber. Yeah, because it
Yeah,
kind
definitely.
of
I'm here for it.
right. Okay. And And we'd pass this
Right.
over the scene, and then we'd apply different other lights, other constant lights. This photograph, I would have probably taken about 140 shots,
Right.
lighting different sections, and then digitally, I will paint in the little parts to form the whole.
You know, James, there's so much depth behind these pieces that you have here this morning.
Yes.
I know that we do need more time to go through them, and hopefully we'll be able to, but we do need to go to the next one, which, as soon as we saw it this morning, I was like, I know where this is, and you told us where this is. What is the name of this piece?
This is the Gonda Railway Crossing. Some years ago, about 28 years ago, I had an assignment in Barrackport.
Okay.
Got a little bit turned around, but tank was full, so I was okay. And then I crossed over this. And in my childhood days, my father used to take us to Granville for the August holidays. And sometimes we'd come upon a crossing, and the trains would go by, and we'd be, yay, So I said, okay, let me stop. Took the picture, developed it. It ended up in storage. Then in 2010, I met Mr. Arjun Singh, who was the chief engineer at Brecon Castle.
Okay.
And we had a discussion, and he mentioned this, and he said he wished he had taken a picture before it had been destroyed. And I said, wait a minute, I have it. When I got that and I showed him the pictures, the man started to weep.
Yeah.
Because he thought it was lost forever.
And it definitely evokes
Yes.
memories of childhood, so I can understand. That
Yes,
is for
so,
sure. Absolutely beautiful. And let's go to this next piece, and I will let you say the name of this. I love
Crepes
this
and
one.
Cheese and Cocoa was done for an exhibition that was held in the Rotunda during the pandemic. And the theme was The Way We Were. The safe at the back is my grandmother's. I didn't realize that it was his until afterwards. But I came up with the concept. A friend of mine contacted the GM of Bermuda's, so I was able to get my hands on a tin. I put everything together. My old geography teacher, I had asked, where can I get the grated chocolate to buy? My old geography teacher had, and also the former Minister of Agriculture, Clarence Rambarat, sent his driver with a little brown paper bag
Lovely.
with the chocolate. I put it together, and then this was used to help light one of the lights that I used to create that. Put it together, and it's a popular piece, especially in the diaspora. I have I think about 8 or 9 of this very same canvas print out Canada, England, and so on, Miami, New York. And I have some smaller pieces, and you can find them at Horizons.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, because that was my next question. Where can we find these pieces? And thank you for sharing your incredible artwork with us on set this morning. One of the beauties is that there is definitely a story behind every single one, and really hoping that we're going to be able to share that with our viewers for the rest of the week. James, thank you.
Can I add?
You have 15 seconds.
I'm planning on having a next exhibition in May next year for my 60th birthday. And I'm also going to be bringing along a couple other photographers with me as part of my mentoring.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for that, and we'll make sure that we recap that and cover that as well. This is the Now Morning Show. Stay tuned. There's more coming up on the show you do not want to miss.
And if the river come down, baby, let it flow. I wanna be your only one, yeah. Lightning and thunder, where she have it now. She never make me wonder if she love me though. And if the river come down, baby.
Morning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.